Okay, so left back. Now, at my actual save, right? With the shellocracy here. So, what didn't I talk about in that 40-minute beginner's guide? Okay, let's go for a full of spoilers, like complete everything I can talk about this game for you that want to know those details. Let's click everything I see in the screen and say everything I didn't say in that beginner's guide. So let's go here to the markets. Weapons, armor, materials most of the time, and they are useless. Okay, like these here are most of the time useless. Sometimes you can use them when you actually need, when you have a surplus of materials and you actually need a specific non-unique item. You can come here and just buy a regular one and upgrade it and, you know, like make the perfect item with upgrading. But usually you are gonna, when you get to that point, you are already gonna have dropped everything you want from dungeons. So these are usually not that good unless you need something to, like, I want to train light armor, but I sold all of my light armor and I don't want to go to the dungeon. Then you come here and buy whatever you need. Shop utilities. This shop here is very good, okay? Because like buying the highest tier tools and upgrading them and making them exactly how you want, they don't drop that frequently from dungeons, really, so it's very useful, especially for like real hard mode players. This is phenomenal. Another thing that's kind of hard sometimes to get from dungeons are decent mentals, you know. So like sometimes, although the stats are not that relevant at a certain point in the game, like sometimes I really want a physical defense mental instead of a magic or agility one. You know, so I come here and I just grab whatever I need and upgrade it. Weapons and armor are the easiest ones to find in any kind of dungeon, really. Now, town. What didn't I talk about? Okay, so expeditions. These are useless. Let's wait until he revamps this. Perks. There is something here very, 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 very important. Let me just go over which perks are actually good. Okay? Anything that says that you gain something like multiplied by your level is gonna be broken in the end game, but is kind of okay in the early game, let's say. So this is useless, really. Like there's no reason to use this. So the good perks I would say are this, and sometimes this. These you can all equip with a glove, so no reason to equip any of them manually. X has this one, which is one of the most important in the game. Katana has this one. Is one of the best. It also has this one that can be very good, but usually when you are using a katana, your skills already have the not, like you cannot dodge them ability like in them, so it doesn't really match because you already have it at the skill. So why would I want on the skill? So why would I want it again? Now this, if you are going for a counter build with katanas, this is the thing you actually need. Okay, club has some very decent stuff here. This is very good. This is like, if there is a boss that's giving you a lot of trouble, you can go with like bonk, and every single, like actually you just have to have a club and use like the fastest possible attacking abilities you can think of. And then this is like gonna deny an absurd amount of actions from the monster. It's very funny, but I never used it really. And of course, this is like one of the strongest things in the game for a plethora of reasons. This is very strong. It just increases your damage by 30%. It's crazy. Yeah, this is okay. This is not that great. This is decent. Yeah, nothing here. Agility is increased by 1 by character level. Can be very good in the beginning of the game, but if you have those boots, it becomes a very minimal value. So, in general. This is funny if you wanna, like, if you don't want to run the steal skill, but you still want the effect, you can use this. Although the steal skill is already very good. Dodging grants you hidden for a short time. This is okay. This is whatever. This is going to be great, but right now it's bugged, so it's not doing what it should, so it's not that great. From lances, it's probably just maybe these, I would say. Yeah, like, sometimes ignoring defense can be okay, but there are better things to do. This is charge a magic ability. It does not replace stronger. Charge a magic ability by 30%, while this says charge or imbued by 30%. So like, if you have this is useless. Now this, if your character only has magic abilities, is very good. Can be very good and very funny, but it's just 10%, right? Okay. From these three, this is the thing, really. This has some uses, and it's quite good, but on most builds, not really much reason to use that, but it's decent. Yeah, the rest of this is kinda mid, to be honest. This is useless, really. Like, this is not useful, because you already have permanent effects even with all this. But yeah. Now this is obviously ridiculous. White magic powers. The rest of the white magic thingy is kind of meh. Here there are some decent things you can do. Magic abilities always inflict an additional random negative stats effect. You can equip this. You can equip this in a mage that has like just 1 or 2 debuffs that are very fast activations, and it's gonna like stack an absurd amount of debuffs on the enemy, so it's quite decent. This is useless. This is kinda useless. This is useless. Whatever. Now this. This is like, you only wanna use two-handing at a point in the game in which using Omega Bright and like when you don't need to block anymore, you insta-kill everything in a single second, you know, and like, but that's at such a high level that it's like, is it really worth it? I don't know. But you can block abilities without a shield equipped, is, without any offhand equipped really, is okay. It's quite good. This is some power, this is some power as well, it's okay. This is okay, I guess. This, anything that increases the base stats of an item, you know, it's true as well for the armor thingies, okay, is kinda you know, like because like the stats that the equipment give are so low, the base stats, that's not really an upgrade in any capacity. Now, just two-handing, just not using an offhand, already multiplies your damage like crazy. So the perks themselves are not that big of a deal. Reflect is increased by 5% per lifetime. Okay. Now, this is a problem. Okay, I think it works for all of these. Physical defense is increased by 5% per heavy armor equipped. So, if I equipped 4 pieces of heavy armor, this should increase my defenses by 20%. Correct? Yeah. But it doesn't. What it's currently doing is increasing how much defense you gain from the equipment, which is nothing. Like, so this is completely useless. So let's go back here. From here, I mean, like, this is okay. This is okay. This is okay. This is very good because it's life, not barrier. Remember one thing about this game, guys. There are attacks from enemies that ignore your barrier. So having max life is way better than having max barrier. Like way better. That also makes so that you can use only health potions or mixed type potions, but especially health potions, instead of having to carry barrier potions as well, since they are not as effective in general. Because of the difference that I said, you know, like also healing, the skill heal and heal plus, well, does not affect your barrier, so having more max health is usually the best move you can do. Now here we have some crazy ones. As I said, this is very good until you have the boots. After you have the boots, that I will talk about later, this is not that great. Successfully dodging gives you haste. If you cannot run haste in your setup, this is good. Successfully dodging activates one of your abilities. This is completely busted. This is ridiculous. This is completely stupid. This is one of the strongest things in the game by far. Whenever you dodge, gain a shadow double that takes damage for you. One attack before disappearing stacks up 3 times. This is also extremely strong, especially if you are a Perkin, for obvious reasons. From block. Yeah, although they nerfed this because it was stupid how it was before, this is still very good. Because, well, it's a 30% increase to your defenses. Of course, it stacks on it, like, it just adds to the percentage that you usually have. But if I go to my stats here and remind you, this is a maxed character, like all of mine are, right? So I have 239% bonus, you know, like defenses here from physical blockchains. 30 here is from that perk. It's a decent increase, I would say. It's considerable. It's not bad by any means. So, no reason to not pick it, right? Sometimes there will be better options, but it's a decent thing to increase your defenses a little bit more. Also because my melee attack is dependent on my physical defense. Now, your block champs is 90% at less than 25% life or barrier. This is useless. Because if you are at less than 25 life, you are going to die if something hits you. So, like, now this, on the other hand, my friends. Whenever you block, you have a 50% chance to reflect that ability back at the attacker. This is a very nice. I mean, you hitting them by yourself is way stronger than using this, but it's very funny and it's quite effective. Because, well, instead of you taking the damage you would take after blocking, well, you're just ignoring that damage completely and sending it back to the enemy. So it's very good. These and these are okay-ish, but not that great. Item lore, like, you want this if you want to level up your item lore. I will talk about this later. Here you have some decent things when you want to, like, where is it? Yeah, so like if you wanna drop uniques, this is decent. And these here, hidden events that drop items have a 20% increase drop chance, and hidden events that give buffs, like, yeah, like, these are decent, okay? These are okay if you just want, like, to really drop a lot of items. And security perks, there is one here that is decent. Where is it? Oh, it's this one. It's this one. Okay, if you wanna drop a lot of things, well, disarming traps, and disarming traps also drops loot as much as a regular chest would. So yeah, like, if you wanna drop things, this is very good. Your party has an additional chance to unlock a locked event or disarm trap. Yeah, no, like, this is the thing to pick here, mostly. So yeah, that's a rundown of what serves a purpose here, and that most of these perks, until they get reworked, are completely useless. Ah yeah, what I was going to say is, the most difficult thing to train is item lore. Okay, item lore is always the last thing you level up, because if you are playing this game correctly, you usually don't need to use your items. Your party is already kind of like self-sustainable with healing and with resurrections and things like that, so you don't really need your items for anything. So you don't use them often, so they don't level up often. Like, when I got to level 1,800 or something, 1800, English. So when I got to level 1800 or something, my item lore was still like 150 maybe? Because I never used any of my items really. So here in the skill training menu, really invest most of your materials into upgrading item lore, because it's definitely the slowest one. So yeah, your surplus of acorns and money for sure are gonna go into training skills by spending resources here. Gamble is usually useless. You can do it for fun. Sometimes it drops a unique. Well, actually, if you're playing at the hardest with like a quarter of a chance of items and things, this can be useful to randomly find some uniques, which is a good thing. So yeah, roster, we already know about it. Stats, I've already extensively talked about it, I think. Is there anything I missed that I should talk about? Yeah, life is better than barrier. Currently, melee skills are better than magic skills because you can use that perk that increases your melee attack based on your physical defense, right? And I can get this number way higher if I equip Shalane correctly. I think she's not even equipped right now. So yeah, currently. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you some other details. Accuracy is very important, of course, unless you are using attacks that say that they cannot be dodged. But probably most of you already know or read what all of these does. Okay, melee speed and magic speed bonuses cap at 600. Okay, resistances cap at 90%, and crit chances also cap at 90%. Those are very important pieces of information. Okay? Thorns and Reflect right now are completely useless. They will be revamped in the future. Let's wait until then. Then, Barrier Steal and Life Steal are okay-ish in the early game. And that's it, really. Bonus stats, you can read everything by yourself. I don't have to talk about every single one of these things. Let's go to what I have to say about equipment. Okay? So, actually, let's see equipment through the lens of the guild shop. The guild shop can tell you tier 5 of any unique legendary you have already dropped before. Okay, you have to have dropped from a dungeon the unique item for it to show up here, and so that you can buy it, okay? This sword is completely useless. This katana is absolutely busted if you are doing a counter build. If not, the regular legendary one is better. This is like crazy strong. Like, if you are doing any build that's not katana related, really, you want to be using Lorem Ipsum, okay? Sometimes even for it, I'm gonna talk about that later, but Lorem Ipsum is probably the highest damage you can ever do is with this weapon. This dagger is funny. You can use it in the early game if you want. This lance is useless, this mask is useless, this is the strongest item in the game by far. This lantern, you have to use it if you want to beat the game in the hardest difficulty. These boots are the strongest boots in the game for obvious reasons. They are from Hermes, so it's a god thing. Mask of Nothing is usually a bad idea, unless you want to train in a very specific way against like golden slimes and not get sleep from them, then you can use these. If you are using a melee build, you want to use these gloves here. Okay, it's simple as that. Because even if you are not using fists, even if you are not unarmed, some of the fist perks just increase your damage by like 25%. So having this equipped increases all physical damage by 25%, period. Like, probably. If you read the perks from fists, from melee, from like unarmed combat, you are gonna see what I mean. Stone blocks and heavy mantle. You only use these if you don't want to dodge. If you are making your character exclusively for blocking and you actually want them to not be able to dodge. There is a reason for that for sure, because you can use that when you block, you send the skill back thing. So yeah, there is a place for them, but most of the time they are very, very, very bad. This ring is okay-ish, because your maximum life becomes thorns. It's useful. This ring is very good for tanks in the regular game, like the normal difficulty, but it's useless for higher difficulties because of how much defense the opponents have, until, of course, they revamp the thorns system. This is a okay ring, just because it gives accuracy and attack. You know, the utility thingy there is not really useful. But yeah, it's a decent ring. This ring is glass cannon. You know, like, if you equip this ring, you will deal way more damage, but guess what? You will die miserably. There... how do I explain this? There is a possibility of you using this against... You can use this against bosses that you can dodge, and yeah, like a Perkian against things that they can dodge can use this, as long as they don't have thorns nor reflect, to deal an absurd amount of damage. But most of the game, enemies will have some way of killing you, you know, of dealing thorns or ignoring, you know, like the Spire. The Spire will just ignore your dodge or do something that will kill you, and if you have 0 defenses, you're probably getting one shot. Can you make it work? Yeah, probably. I never used the item. And that's it. Those are all the unique legendaries, and if they are decent or not. Other than those, just use like legendaries in general. I will most likely, as long as you have, I mean, as long as you have everything leveled up to a certain degree, right? Between the different armored skills, you can always, like, this gives barrier, which is bad, and 6 defenses and -2 agility, right? Then I can compare it to a... What is it? I can compare it to... Okay, so wait, where is it? Because it's hard to operate this. Okay, so like, this is the light head armor. So it's 6 defenses spread out, and barrier, which is meh, and minus agility. Okay, then if I go to the medium hat, which is here, right? Yes. You will see that it gives the same 6 defense spread and 2 agility. So it removes nothing. So it's way better than the light one already. And if I go to the heavy one, which is... What is the heavy one? The heavy one is here. The heavy one is this. No, this is tier 2, this is tier 1. The heavy one, of course, will give the same 6 spread defenses, 2 maximum life, but it will remove magic speed bonus and agility. So my point here is, if you have everything from your armor maxed to 999, for the slots that are not going to use unique legendaries, you definitely want to use medium armor, neither light nor heavy, because it gives the best balance of stats. Even though, of course, we know that the stats from the items themselves are quite minimal in a way, right? Of course, if I go to the stats here, we can see that skills. We can see that heavy armor. Plus 1% heavy armor mastery. So, if I go to my bonus stats, I can see that I have 1200 heavy armor mastery, defense bonus while wearing heavy armor. So, the point is, the defenses that the armor is giving me are being multiplied by this number. So as I told you, I really want to use the item, the medium one, because it doesn't take away from me anything. It doesn't decrease any of my stats, while these two do decrease my stats. I've talked about equipment, I've talked about perks. I will talk about abilities, and I think that's gonna be the end. Yeah, but first, let me show you something. So, the moment you complete everything, happens something. So, the best places to train skills, the best places to level up, to train your skills, okay, are against the slimes. Let me go back here. Yeah. Let me go to the bestiary. The best monsters for you to train against are these guys. Okay? They are... because they train your block. Okay, the thing is, slimes are the best enemies to train against in general, okay? These guys are... they do train your block as well. These guys are the best trainers in the world. Like, if you were a Pokemon, you would want your trainer to be this guy here, okay? But they don't train block, because they don't actually deal damage to you. So they are good for training block, for training everything else. You can train against them all defenses that are not block, and all abilities that don't deal damage. Against these guys, you can train block as well. Now, if you wanna train attacks, like if you wanna train everything, like literally everything at the same time, the best option would be the Leviathan. Okay, this guy is definitely the best guy to train against if you wanna just train every single thing possible in the beginning, like in the middle of the game, let's say. Okay, because you can hit him, you know, like you can just equip low, everything that deals the least damage possible, you know, like a very weak weapon and no damage perks, and like you can make yourself as weak as possible in terms of damage and just fight him infinitely. You know, even if you kill him, well, you just repeat that dungeon, raid boss instance again and again and again, and it's gonna train you very fast. So yeah, those are the best spots. The red slimes in the mountain, the golden slimes in the Ig tree, at the Ig tree, and Leviathan at his own lair. Of course, for most things, the moment you, like if you really wanna hit things, if you wanna train every single attack ability in the game, obviously, you have to get to this guy, right? You have to get to this guy. But to get to this guy, that is the best punch dummy, training dummy in the game, you have to first go over the spire, right? Now, for material collecting, there are two options. If you really want to material collect, especially acorns, you can either run the top of the spire again and again and again and again, or from my experience using steel, I don't know, but I think it's more efficient to just murder the end on repeat if you wanna farm for acorns. Like for me, it worked very nicely. Probably some people can tell you in the comments if there is a setup for the spire where you get more from chests and things like that, but I'm not really sure about it, okay? Someone can clarify a better way to farm the spire, or maybe a better way to farm acorns from a boss like the Ictree's Wrath, right? But yeah, it's either Ictree's Wrath, or the Ictree itself, if you are not strong enough for the rest of the things, or the top of the spire, or the end. Those are the places to farm for materials when you just wanna upgrade and change the specifications of your equipment and level up your characters now that we have the skill training, right? Did I not talk about something? Oh yeah, the abilities. Okay, the last thing is abilities. This video is also coming to be 40 minutes, just like the previous one was. What the hell am I doing with my life? But anyway, I really like talking about this game, so that's no problem. What I'm really scared is if there is anyone that's actually going to be willing to watch a 40 freaking minute video talking about every single detail of this game, right? But yeah, you know how to... When I told you the monsters you have to train against, you understand what I mean, right? You don't want to kill them, you just want to keep a infinite battle against them in general. Oh yeah, never forget that when you are completing the bestiary, it's not that you need to kill 100 of them to get plus 10 melee attack. If you kill 10 of them, you get plus 1 melee attack. It has these bars, it increases with time. Okay? So pay attention to that. I think the last thing we have to talk about... Bestiary, guild upgrades... Yeah, guild upgrades are quite, like, self-explanatory. You are gonna choose them by yourselves. I've talked about the perks already. Upgrade. Oh yeah, this is important. I forgot about this. This video is gonna be like 50 minutes long. I don't give a shit. I'm really gonna like go over every single thing. Okay, so let's use an armor, because weapons are limited in terms of what specs they can get. Let's use a piece of armor, because pieces of armor can get every single spec. Let me show you the big hood, okay? Choose specific mods. Number 1, I don't know if your, like, medium armor mastery increases these numbers. Actually, obviously, I know it doesn't. It would be completely insane. It would just break the game, right? So, no, it doesn't, of course. So these numbers are not multiplied by anything. These right here, okay? Now, the options are the following. Maximum life is a flat amount, so it's okay-ish. Maximum barrier, as I told you, barrier is garbage. So life bonus increases your life by a percentage. That's very good, in general, okay? Increasing your life by a percentage is very good for most of the game, for most of the content, because, well, you tank a little bit more, right? But there are some times when life really doesn't matter, because you either get one shot or you one-shot the enemy, so this is a good option, not the greatest. Barrier is useless. Melee attack is gonna give you a tiny little bit of melee attack, so probably melee attack is not that great. Melee accuracy is also a flat amount, so these flat amounts are like, they can be used, but I don't think they increase your damage or your things that much. I would actually like someone to complement this information to me. If I put melee attack, for example, here, like plus 96 melee attack, does this increase in any way? Does this multiply in any way with other things? Because like plus 100 melee attack is, well, you saw my stats. It's nothing. So unless this multiplies by something else, it's completely useless. Especially in the late game. Of course, in the early game, this can be a very big increase. But I'm talking here about a, like, Dawn build, someone trying to conquer the Spire and things like that. So, melee attack, melee accuracy, are flat amounts. Melee speed bonuses are percentages. They are very good. But if you are using that perk that gives you melee or magic speed based on your level, this becomes irrelevant because you will already hit the cap, right? But it's a good stat to have. Now, masteries. Okay? Masteries. These are the best thing you can get. Weapon masteries are the best thing you can ever put in an equipment. Like, by far. Okay, if you are using... let's say I'm using katana and staff skills, and I'm using also a red magic spell in my character. You wanna have all of them, okay? Just a reminder. Most debuffs and buffs in the game will hit their caps just from you leveling your character. So for example, if you put white magic mastery in an equipment, it does nothing, basically. Unless you are very low level, okay? Unless you are very low level, it does nothing. Okay, for the late game, it's useless. For any type of like green magic, white magic, you know, for those, increasing it above a certain range does nothing. So usually weapons is what you want here. Okay, red magic, anything that increases damage really is what you're looking for. Because it not only increases the damage of those skills, it also makes them go faster in general. So it's very, very, very important. Crit chance is something you can complement with items to hit the 90% cap if you are not doing that through perks. That's definitely something viable. Crit chance, as I told you, the magic's here. Two-handed mastery, for example, if you are not using a extra two-handed mastery, if you are not using an offhand, is like in items is an absurd amount of, like, it's an absurd increase of your damage output. Okay? Agility is a flat amount, physical defense and magical defense are a flat amount, and from my understanding, I think these extra status that go on the bottom of the item, I think they don't get multiplied by your mastery of that kind of armor. If they do, please correct me, because that changes my evaluation of how good these things are. I just have to test it, right? But I'm not gonna do that right now, because that would take a little bit of time. Yeah. So, physical block chance, magical block chance. Yeah, block chances are obviously good because they increase the percentage they increase the percentage that overcapping is increasing your defenses. So these are always good as well. Ailment resistance and control resistance are very important to get to 90%. If your team, yeah, like, it's good in general. Usually if your team has like 2 revitalizers, it's not that big of a problem. I've never used any of these. Like, my characters have done the entirety of the game in ×10 difficulty without ever equipping any kind of resistance, like with the 10 default percent. But yeah, they are good. They do make a difference. Life regen, barrier regen, life steal and barrier steal are completely useless. These masteries here, can be good because they increase some stats multiplied by your level, right? So it's something to consider. Like, if I increase heavy armor mastery, from what I remember, I get plus defense in general, right? Or something like that. But yeah, you can consider these guys depending on what you are doing. Thorns, reflect are right now useless. Item mastery isn't whatever. Now, of course, and this is very important. If you are leveling your characters, you want every piece of your equipment to have experience bonus. Especially if you are playing in the hardest of difficulties, in hell mode, basically. You really need experience bonus in every single piece of equipment to progress through the game faster. Magic Find, well, if you are having trouble finding those uniques, this can help you, but that's all it does for now. So yeah, these are all of the statuses. This video is already 47 minutes long. I am getting crazy. Let's keep going, because I still have to finish this video talking about abilities. I am not gonna break this video down in one video about each topic. It will be in a almost 1 hour video. I don't give a shit. I will just put like on YouTube those dividers saying, here I talk about this, here I talk about that. Maybe I'm gonna do that. Let's talk about the skills, okay? About every single possible skill. Actually, no, I'm gonna do it like I did with the... I'm gonna do it like I did with the perks. Sorry, forgotten the name perks. So, you are only going to use these when you are training your hand-to-hand combat. And that's it. The dev said they will release weapons for fists, so maybe in the future, like some skills here are actually decent, but for now there is not really a big reason to use them. A Perkian can fight without like a weapon, but katanas are so much better, so yeah. There are a few attacks here that are very, very fast, okay? And first attack, for example, actually deals a considerable amount of damage if it's your only attack, but yeah, they level very fast. Axe skills. Bloodbath Plus is a good skill, in a way, because it applies Shad. It applies Shad without being an offensive, an attack ability, a melee ability. So you can slot this without it like counteracting some combos and some interactions. That's basically what I'm talking about here. So yeah, it's a very good ability. The rest of the Axe tree is kinda weak in general. You just wanna use them for leveling your axe so that you can get the attack speed. Katanas. Oh my god. So, Hisatsu is the strongest skill in the game, based on damage alone. Like, you see that it says magic ability there? Yes, this is considered a magic ability. You see where it says that... Oh, god damn it. You see where it says that its damage is based on magic power? No, it's not. Its damage is based in physical, in melee attack. What it's saying there is wrong. That's why this is the strongest skill in the game. It's because it's a magic ability that scales from physical attack, from melee attack. So it's very, 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 very broken. Okay? Dankuken is also very strong. Both of them are very, very, very strong. They deal an absurd amount of damage, and they can't be dodged. These skills cannot be dodged, so they will always hit the enemy. That's why they are so good. They deal an absurd amount of damage and they cannot be dodged. This one is the strongest one. Kesagiri is a very good skill because it triggers another melee ability when it gets used. Now, Yaijitsus, specifically plus plus and plus plus, also cannot be dodged. Yaijitsu, normal Yaijitsu can be dodged. These two can't. So the build, the counter build for katanas basically run around these two skills. You just have these two and a bunch of other things that, you know, go off of those counter perks that you have. Yeah, the other skills are kind of whatever. Clubs. Ultra Smash is this. Ultra Smash does the most, like, the highest hit possible. Like, the one hit, like just one tap, most damage possible in the game is done by Ultra Smash, but it's a slow skill that has a low accuracy, so yeah, good luck hitting that at high difficulties. Bonk is, funnily enough... Now, someone do explain me why Bonk Plus has less accuracy than normal Bonk. I don't know. But the thing is, Bonk is actually a very good ability, because it keeps applying Dizzy again and again and again at a very low cooldown, which is very, very strong. Of course, Roar Plus is a very good ability as well, because it gives confidence to your entire party. And that's basically it around here. Staves. Let me do it like this. Cascade says magic abilities, but it's gonna get like the text is gonna be changed, because in actuality, it's not just magic abilities. This makes every single ability go off twice. Or at least hit an extra time. If it hits 6 times, it hits 7. If it hits once, it hits twice. And it's for every single ability in the game. So this is very, 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 very strong. Activated Whack is one of the strongest abilities in the game, because it, well, procs a magic ability. Now, I thought charge abilities and buff abilities and heal abilities were not magic abilities, because they don't say magic ability. But apparently, as it was told me by the dev, this doesn't activate only magic abilities. It activates anything that's not a melee ability. Okay? So, yeah. You basically want to use this with a specific magic ability together. I would say this one, for example. Or obviously Devastation. But anyway, this is one of the strongest in the game. Here, nothing else calls that much attention, because charging and imbuing is only for the, like, it's only for the next cast of those skills after this goes off. So fights are usually so fast in this game that that doesn't really make that much of a difference. And it's only for you, it's not for your entire party. So Mega Flash is a very good debuff. Mega Flash is probably the best debuff in the game, because it's dizzy, weak, and vulnerable to the entire enemy team. It's slow, yes, it's slow, but you can activate it through activated Whack. Okay, so here it's Whack, Cascade, and Mega Flash. Basically everything that's important. From the dagger abilities, well, all dagger attack abilities are kinda meh, like kinda weak in general. But of course, Steel is very good, because Steel allows you to farm more items, and it also trains dagger and security, which are two very important things for you to train, right? Lance. Like, for the beginning of the game, Lance has hold position. If you don't have Sanctuary, if you don't have Sanctuary, having hold position is very good. And it's the main way you are going to train your lances to get more maximum HP, right? It's through this. Lances are a bad weapon. Like, there is no reason to use charge. It's too slow. It doesn't deal nearly. You can miss it, and it doesn't deal as much damage as katana. Like, yeah, lances are just very bad. Now, gravity is a very good way of killing bosses that have an absurd amount of health. Okay, so gravity is always an option to kill some bosses. Tornado plus, if you can hit it, if you have high enough accuracy, is the most possible damage in the game from a spell, okay, from a magic ability. I mean, this is a magic ability, right? And it's way more damage. But my point is, this is a katana skill, right? This is the highest damage possible from a actual spell, let's say it like that, okay? Devastation, although hits just once, and it has the highest magic accuracy possible. So it has a lot of upsides. Fisher Plus is nice for the DZ. And Ice Blade, funnily enough, is good for applying Shed. Yeah. Ice Blade is good for applying Shed so that the enemy takes more damage from physical attacks. Well, that's good. Fire is obviously also very good because the enemy being on fire makes them take more damage from, for example, Tornado and Devastation. And yeah, Foxfire is a very fast spell that trains red. Okay, green. The strongest tree, the strongest type in the game. Sanctuary is the most, like, busted buff in this game by far. This spell is decent. Vulnerable and weak are very good because although Mega Flash already does what they do, they are way faster. Okay? They are way faster. And they have more tries to hit, understand? Because they are faster, you have more chances to apply them to the boss. So they are very, very good. Haste is, like, stupid. Like, it basically makes you cast your spells twice as fast, so you have to use it. It's necessary. Sanctuary is broken. Luck is also a very, 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 very good buff. Toxic is how you win against bosses that heal more than you can deal damage. Focus is very good as well if you are missing your attacks. So, for example, if you're using red spells, Focus is very good. If you are using a katana, well, you are already impossible to dodge, so not as good. Slow is what haste does for us, slow does the opposite for the enemy, so it's also completely busted. Revive is something you just put in your team, in every single member of your team, because, well, your team almost becomes immortal because of it. So yeah, it's completely broken. Revitalize removes all status effects from your team, so this is how you heal and how you remove this is how you survive. This is how you heal and this is how you remove all status effects from your team. You are almost never gonna use heal, actually, because this already kind of heals you enough, you know, and like heals so much compared to how little is your health pool that it's kinda like unnecessary in many ways. Anything else here that's useful? Yeah, not really. It's revitalize and revive, and that's it. You only use Holy Bolt to level up this 3 in general. And from here, You can use Black Touch. Okay. This is actually a decent skill. Because, well, if you get this fast enough, you don't need to carry the other, especially for raid bosses, okay? Especially for raid bosses. If you carry this, you don't have to carry every single type of debuff. You can just have 2 or 3 of these and like cast them very, very fast, but it's not that efficient, okay? It's decent, you can use it, but it's better to just run the debuffs that you specifically want. Nothing here really serves a purpose, okay? Death magic, dark magic is like probably the most useless of the trees, especially because toxic is not even here, toxic is here. So yeah, I think those are all of them. If any of you felt that some information was missing from this video in any way, shape or form, and you wanna know more about something specific, do tell. I have been here for 1 hour and 3 minutes already. And there isn't really that much to cut from this video. I will have to edit it at least a little bit, I think, to make it like 50 minutes or something. I'm getting very depressed thinking about it. You guys all have a good one. Bye bye.